Update 219, bringing the final chapter of the City of Gold campaign, the Mountain Master Heist, has just launched on Steam, and let me tell you, this DLC is top tier. Whilst the new heist is always going to be the focus in a video like this, as ever, I'll be running you through all the new content this update has to offer, including a new Tailor Pet DLC, a set of free cosmetic options for your heister, and some challenging achievements to keep you on your toes. But first, let's talk about the Mountain Master. Once again, the new Heist DLC offers a single-day experience with somewhat non-linear objectives and with the potential to go in loud or in stealth. Lore-wise, one of the underbosses of the Triad, Xiaoyu, has contacted the gang to put an end to their war once and for all, requesting that the gang assassinate Yufu Wang and steal account documentation to enable her takeover. The incentive being, Xiaoyu is pledging to work with the Payday gang moving forwards, and she's offering a mountain of Wang's own gold hidden within the walls of their headquarters, which, in case you haven't worked out, is the titular mountain we'll be raiding. This is simple but sensible writing, which sets up for what is quite the set piece later in the heist. Heading into the heist, we can see pretty expansive pre-planning options, including ways to speed up objectives, ease traversal of the map, and even a thermite approach, which is definitely recommended for those harder difficulties. Between stealth and loud, most objectives seem quite similar. We start in a reception, either sneaking past the guards with the aid of a coffee machine, or hacking the front desk computers if loud is the way you're going. From here, we need to find security access panels, flipping the switch on all three in a specific order in stealth, or hacking one of them in loud. With this, we can bring the lift down to the basement and pull the power, remembering to grab cutting tools and a crowbar for later objectives from the back of the truck. This gives us a clear elevator shaft up, which we can zipline through and access the rooftop suite, where Yufu Wang was mid-meeting. Next, we work towards securing entrance to his boardroom, using a window cleaner to sneak around in stealth, or a pretty awesome lift drop rip on the front door in loud. Now it's just a case of securing the hard drive from within a hidden bookshelf mechanism, drilling or hacking an entrance to secure the precious data. Following that, the crew need a way to get to Wang, simply setting off a fire alarm in stealth or using a conveniently stationed sports car to ram down the door. Here is where we can also use the thermite, which would be my recommendation on DSOD, as there's very limited cover around the car itself. If you're playing on lower difficulties, however, you've got to give the car a go at least once, if just for the spectacle. With that, one of two fairly unique sequences will begin, depending on your approach. If you went in silently, you'll now be tasked with finding and assassinating Yufu Wang on the rooftop. This is an expansion of what we saw in Holston Revenge and Bullock's Mansion, as we actually have to take Wang out while surrounded by his bodyguards. Not to mention, it's not initially clear which one he is, meaning you have to listen out for his conversation to find him for certain. You can also go about clearing most of the rooftop first, as these guards were not well enough prepared to be fitted with pages, which is a really nice detail I enjoyed. On loud, however, I hope you're ready for a battle. Yufu Wang will burst out on the rooftop, fully armoured, massively tanky, and extremely deadly with his custom-built flamethrower. This turns into a mess quickly. He does good damage to you, and can even leave dangerous flame pools on the ground with molotovs, making him easily the hardest boss-type encounter in Payday 2. This is a massive departure from Bullock. Not to mention, he's no one's ally. He'll be just as likely to engage with the cops as he will you, making things even more manic. I don't feel like his hitboxes are brilliant, and sometimes I find myself being damaged out of nowhere, but I still thought the fight overall was an interesting addition, which makes this heist much more difficult than it would be otherwise. Honestly, my best recommendation if you're struggling with this is to go with melee and bloodthirst. If you have a full kill chain saved up, you should do some serious damage to him, saving a massive headache. Once he finally goes down though, we can grab his keycard, head back downstairs and open up the least hidden vaults I've ever seen, behind these dressers, securing at least 4 bags of gold and escaping what was a very unique heist, either in the customary chopper or via the window washing lift in stealth. Alright, so now you've got the lay of the land with the Mountain Master heist, let's get into why I've been enjoying it so much. First, it looks brilliant. It's a large and expansive map played across 3 areas, each with their own distinct visual style and optimal approach. Because of how it's crafted, with verticality as a focus, bearing in mind it's set in a skyscraper, Overkill has had the license to create a diverse set of objectives, spawn locations and environments, which makes this heist feel incredibly unique. We have the basement and reception with its high volume of cover and corners, the main penthouse suite with a labyrinthine design and gorgeous decor, and then the rooftop and outdoor section which force you to contend with snipers and the boss itself. It's like an expansion of what we've seen previously with the Diamond Heist and Framing Frame, except this time it feels like multiple heists rolled into one. To make things even better, coming off the back of the Black Cat, which looked wonderful but tanked performance across the board, it doesn't feel like we're suffering as a result of its ornate aesthetic. This heist runs incredibly well given its scope and visuals, which is brilliant even for those of you with older machines, which is where I'd usually talk about the channel partner Apex Gaming PCs, but honestly, even your old toasters may have a chance at running Mountain Master. I'll shoot my shot anyway. If you want a new premium custom built PC with Payday's running difficulties in mind, check out my range from the link in the description. Back onto update 2.19 though, let's talk difficulty. I'd consider this heist to be on the medium to low side of things for those of you looking to get into DSOD, both in stealth and loud. Though there's a lot going on and objectives are varied, most of the combat is at a very close range, along corridors with plenty of cover. Think No Mercy, but with slightly more controlled spawns and less claustrophobic hallways. This means there will be a lot of funneling and area denial, so if you have a high damage weapon, as I'm showcasing here, you should be able to steamroll most waves easily. To make things even better from a heist perspective, there's not a lot of loot carrying required, and lots of pretty relevant pre-planning favours to make life easier. Also, most objectives are under decent cover. With how the upper floors are designed, you can even kite most cops around the map, keeping them at bay for much longer. The difficulty does take a massive spike when Yufu Wang spawns, which makes your time with the heist feel quite build dependent, but thanks to him being hostile to everything on the map, you can always play it safe and let them distract him whilst you're whittling him down. Not to mention, he spawns next to an ammo dump, making it much easier to unload into him without worry. From my perspective, he's a great addition just because of what modders are going to be able to do with the new AI control flamethrower. From a stealth perspective, things are quite close quarters, making it a little tougher than, say, the Ukrainian prisoner heist. But guards have very distinct movement patterns here and tend to not stray from their zones. This means that if you can successfully make it past the downstairs section without using any pages, as I'd recommend, you can easily control areas of the upstairs map and move freely. One cheeky design choice is that if any body is launched off the map, you will instantly break stealth. This was a nasty surprise the first time around. However, bodies are still easy to hide, as I've mentioned, areas can be completely controlled by heisters, so don't worry too much about the lack of disposal options. I must admit, I really enjoyed this heist in stealth. It seemed to have a bit of everything, and that assassination objective was definitely the icing on the cake, allowing me to use the new DLC pistol to launch Yufu out of sight. But it's certainly quite an easy stealth mission once you have an eye for where objectives can spawn. Once again, the system of Lot telling you what to do and then waiting 2 minutes before precisely showing you where to go is back. I like the searching. In theory, it makes that first playthrough more engaging, but it also often boils down to sitting around and waiting to be told exactly what to do until you've learnt the heist through repeat attempts, which isn't ideal. I also don't love having to move the gold after taking out the boss. Surely the payment could have been arranged after Xiaoyu took over, but despite that heist time padding, I like the logic behind the other objectives very much. All the steps towards getting the lift shaft cleared and then using the kinetic energy of the lift itself to break down the door make a lot of sense, which results in it feeling more like a well-planned heist rather than a video game mission. So overall, I expect this heist to be quite accessible to everyone of all playstyles and definitely a fun one to try out. Finally, on the heist itself, I have to mention the track that accompanies it. Showdown Inferno has capped off the Asian-inspired music theme that has typified the City of Gold in style. The guitar riffs are brilliant in this song, and I actually think it has a particularly strong stealth section, which is often something that I personally overlook for those bassy assaults. Once again, Gustavo has nailed it. Looking at the wider update, we also have an array of achievements to strive for as well. Sadly, they've brought back the 4 heisters wearing X outfit format, which is always frustrating to go for as a solo player, but I hopped on Red Archer Live's stream on release to burn Yufu Wang to a crisp with the boys. Others, such as Did You Inhale Some Demon Speed, are returning treasure hunt style achievements, but this time with the added difficulty of a time constraint. Find the 3 locations I'm showing here if you want to pick it up easily. My absolute favourite achievement though is No Gnome Left Behind, involving you securing this little guy on a loud escape. Let's just say he's not a gun elf, and there's a reason this one specifies loud. Another great feature of these achievements is that they unlock new free cosmetics. For Crouching Bomber Hidden Flamer, we unlock the Mountain Master Prime, and for the Mad Hatter achievement, we receive the Lahu Dashi, a Bruce Lee inspired yellow all-in-one. I recommend you check out Red Archer's guide if this is something you'd like to unlock for yourself. The Mountain Master mask looks absolutely top tier, by the way. Just like Bullock's, these antagonist masks are well worth unlocking. Outside of the DLC, once again, we also get a free suit variant unlock of the Dragon Bomber just for opening the game. If cosmetics are what you're all about in a Payday 2 update though, not only should you be looking at picking up these achievement unlocks, There's also the new Golden Dagger Tailor Pack. In it, you'll receive 2 outfits, each with 4 variants, some of which are absolutely fantastic. I'm a huge fan of the blood-covered traditional for my main man Jimmy, and the draconic variants of the Master's Mantle complete our full set of Chinese-inspired attire. There are also 4 new masks in this pack. The visors are a bit too bulky for my liking, but I do really like the glowing effects on the new helmets. Finally, for the first time in an age, we have a set of 4 new gloves which actually feel worth talking about. Just like the helmets, the Crimson Wave and Hornet glow grips have a distinctly standout glow, and the Fire Scale and Mountain Spikes offer a different mesh depending on how out there you want to go. As ridiculous as they can look, the Fire Scales are really cool and unique, and were really the first cosmetics in this DLC that drew my attention, looking like a pair of dragon gauntlets straight out of Elden Ring. The Overkill guys channeled the energy of the initial tailor packs with this one, and I think it really benefits as a result. Undoubtedly one of the most interesting cosmetic only packs we've received in a while. With all that said, and very little to cover from a general patch notes perspective, I have to say the City of Gold has gone out with a bang. I expected something massive at the Golden Gate Bridge, but instead was treated to quite the takedown of this campaign's main antagonist. Coupled with the seriously unique weapon pack from last month, this final chapter bundle is definitely going to be the pick of the bunch, even up against the brilliant Ukrainian prisoner heist. Story-wise, there's not as much to unpack as I'd like, but that isn't going to stop me digging deep through all the ambient conversations and working out the full narrative of the Golden Dagger Triad. What I would say is that this conclusion leaves it quite open for a return to San Francisco at a future date should Payday 3's storyline take us there, so keep your eyes open in the coming weeks for episode 2 of the side stories of Payday. Thank you as ever for watching this video. Be sure to share your thoughts on this heist and the now complete City of Gold campaign in the comments section below. I'd really like to know if you think it was better or worse as a DLC series than the Silk Road last year. We have what I'm now assuming to be the final campaign on the horizon, Texas Heat. Here's hoping we find out exactly what Houston was up to whilst his gangmates hit the White House back in 2017. I'll see you all very soon. As ever, thank you very much to my mean infamy patrons and above. If you want to join that infamous club to see yourself in the credits or get early exclusive access to my videos, including the story videos, check out my Patreon link below. Remember that Discord is open to all if you crave some more Payday discussion. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you all very soon for the next one.